What is up, you guys? All right, so today we are gonna be trying out a whole bunch of rare beauty products. I posted a poll on Instagram trying to gauge your interest level because I feel like it's one of those brands that it's still new and they're coming out with new launches all the time. And they sent me a PR package and honestly, I saw everything in it and I was like, I'm gonna try it either way, so I might as well film it. And a lot of you guys, I think like around 80% of you guys said, yes, you wanna see it. So here we are, that is the story of today. Okay, so I have tried a couple of products from Rare Beauty, namely their little cream blushes here, and then also their Stay Vulnerable, like, actually I have it right here. Their Stay Vulnerable little blushes like this. I can tell you right off the bat, I prefer this over this, but I'm still trying this out and still trying to figure it out. But we have a whole bunch of other stuff. Let me show you a little shot of what I'm looking at. I feel like the packaging that this brand does is so beautiful. If you didn't know, Selena Gomez is kind of the creator of this brand, if you will. And I just feel like they have nailed the packaging. They've nailed like the vibe. Like this is the kind of aesthetic I personally like and I know a lot of people like right now. And I just feel like the whole vibe of the brand is just like easy, chill, go-to makeup. You know what I mean? So I'm excited to play with some more of this because I've been curious about a lot of these personally. So let's dive in. So this morning I was kind of looking into every single product and I was watching the videos that Sephora has. Like if you go to the product page for any of these, there's a video of her talking about it and she shows how she applies it and her best like tips and tricks for them, but also kind of the story of the product, like why she wanted to create this, etc. So it's really interesting to watch. And another thing I find interesting is I think she's filming it in her bedroom and it's just kind of interesting seeing her bedroom. I assume it's gotta be. Anyway, let me know. Go check it out and let me know your thoughts. It's just, I love seeing into like celebrities' lives like that. Don't we all? So first thing we're gonna give a try is their Always an Optimist 4-in-1 Mist. This is something that is, I think the 4-in-1 is that it can be a priming mist, but it also can be a setting mist. And then it can refresh yourself throughout the day or add hydration. So I think those are the 4 things, if I remembered it right. I felt like I was studying for a test this morning, like learning about every single product, and I've crammed for it, and now I've got to share everything I know before I forget it all. So she said that she likes to shake it up, and you can definitely see, like when it's sitting there, the kind of oily bits separating. And she was applying it far away, like in an X, so we're gonna try that first. The mister is a pretty fine little mist there. Yeah, I wanted just a little bit more than that provided. It definitely has kind of, not tacky, but like there's a slight oil to it, but it's not overpowering, I don't think. Like you can kind of see the hydration it added. But I will say this, I am someone that has normal to dry skin. I think dry skin people would really like this, especially in the winter. I do wonder if you have oily skin, you might not like this. I don't know, because it's adding in almost, I mean, it does feel a little bit oily and I'm not sure that that would be right for everyone, no matter what they say. I don't know. Let me know, do you have oily skin? Have you tried this? And I also could see myself not liking this as a setting spray because again, with that little bit of like oiliness, unless my skin were looking super dry, otherwise I would worry that it would kind of do the same thing the Tatcha Dewy Skin Mist does, where if you apply even just a little bit too much after your makeup, your face is an oil slick. So that's all I'll say about that, but it does feel nice. The next thing I wanted to try is this. This is their Pore Diffusing Primer. So I've really realized lately that I tend to skip the primer step because obviously there are some mornings that I'm just in a rush and I'm putting my makeup on quickly and any steps I can cut out, I'm gonna cut them out. And primer is one of those, but I have noticed in the past few weeks that when I take the time to apply a primer, at least to my nose region, because that's like my problem area, it really does make a difference in how whatever foundation I'm wearing wears. And so I'm kind of intrigued to try this. It's a clear gel formula. They describe it as kind of cushiony. It's got this pore filling quality to it, supposedly, but it also has like hyaluronic acid. So it's supposed to still be kind of nourishing and hydrating to the skin. It's not gonna be overwhelmingly mattifying. But it definitely did look just now, it took away a little of that shine that was on my forehead. So it did mattify a bit, but it does have kind of like this, it's slightly velvety, but it's not the same feel. I think this is silicone free, so it's not the same feel as like those truly silicone-y primers that feel like crazy velvety. It feels similar, but it's not quite the same. And it does kind of have a hydrating quality. It reminds me like a lot of a Revlon primer. I can link it below. I might need to add this to my dupes list to try it out side by side because it reminds me of the Revlon primer I like that's pore filling and hydrating. I definitely have a dupes video coming up soon where I'm gonna be trying a whole bunch, so that might be on the list too. But it feels nice. I feel like my pores feel slightly filled in. I don't think it's anything life-changing, but we'll see how foundation goes. So I don't have her foundation. I'm gonna throw on one of my favorites just to see how it performs over the primer. This is the NARS Natural Radiant Longwear. But they do have this foundation brush that I'm kind of curious to try. It is so freaking soft, you guys. And I think in one of the videos, I actually saw her use this on like her cream blush. So maybe we'll try that too, we'll see. But I'm gonna just try it on some of my face. I don't typically go for brushes for foundation. I just don't. I'm hesitant to try it at all because I know myself and I just prefer to use a sponge, but we're gonna give it a try. How it goes. It is very soft though. It does not feel like rough on the skin or anything like that. I will say this, if you are looking for a foundation brush that didn't look streaky at all, that's always my issue with foundation brushes, is that I feel like it is nearly impossible to find one that doesn't look too streaky. And I like a little bit more of a medium coverage, but I like it to look more like skin. And I feel like brushes are great if you need high coverage, but for me, it almost never makes my skin look like skin, no matter what I'm applying with it, you know, no matter what product. But this is doing a good job. She mentioned that you can swipe with it and you can press it in. It just feels good. It's the lesser of a lot of the evils I've tried. You know what I mean? So if you are looking for a foundation brush that doesn't streak and you definitely prefer a brush, I have to say I would recommend it because of the ones I've tried anytime the past few years, this is better. But yeah, no complaints. It applied, I mean, do you see any streaks? The other thing they have is this concealer brush, and she mentioned how it is mimicking a fingertip. So like size-wise and shape-wise, it's supposed to be similar to what a finger would be able to do, and you can really get in there. And again, it's that those same crazy soft bristles. So I'm just using the Wet n Wild Incognito concealer. I really like this stuff. And it's funny, I actually prefer a brush for my concealer. So this I'm very excited to try because I do love a good concealer brush. And I think she said the brushes are vegan and cruelty free if you were curious. I like to let the concealer get a little tacky first. Okay. So we're just gonna kind of push it in first and then spread as we kind of need it. They're just so, because they're so soft, you feel like you're being really gentle on your skin. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't, there are certain brushes, man, even some of my favorite brushes that sometimes, especially if they're ones you use with like liquid products like these, will just get rough over time. So hopefully these will stay soft and like wash well, you know? This concealer is a really decent concealer. Like I have really been enjoying using this Wet n Wild one. It's worth a try and it's not a crazy expensive one. And I have just really loved it. I've been wearing it like every day. That and the Shiseido one. Two very different price points, but both very good. Well, that was lovely. This may be the best product of the whole day. I'm gonna be honest, I freaking love concealer brushes and I love finding good ones. And this is definitely by far the softest one I have. And when I'm dealing with that really delicate eye area, it's nice to have one that's like really gentle there. You know what I mean? So for brows, I didn't even know they had a brow product. This is their Brow Harmony. So I have a couple of shades. I've got deep brown and cool brown. I was kind of swatching them earlier. I think I'm gonna go with deep brown today. We're gonna see. I think I could probably go either way. Here's what got me real excited about this. I thought it was just a pencil. It's got a triangular shape. They do mention not to roll it up too far because it's really creamy and it can tend to break. But the thing that got me excited is it also has a complimentary shade tinted brow gel on the other side. And it's got a really small brush. Like I love the idea behind this. Let me brush my brows out. Can you guys hear? They're church bells not far and I can hear them and I just love hearing that. So we'll just do a couple of fill-ins here. Wow, that happened fast. I know not everyone is a huge fan of like triangular shape. Like that's kind of a big pencil tip to work with. You know what I mean? I remember for the longest time, there was one from another brand and it was triangular and I loved it. Was it like Hourglass? It was years ago, but I really haven't used a lot of triangular tipped eyebrow pencils. I do feel like they're not hard to work with, but like if you don't have big brows and you're not filling them in much, it can be a little tricky. But I'm honestly happy with the way that looks as it is, but I do want to try this brow gel. So I love how tiny the brush is. And we're just gonna kind of, there's always that first bit that's like too strong. I've been using the Benefit Gimme Brow a lot lately, and I've just really been liking it, but I think I like the brush of this. Here, I have it right here. Let me compare. So the Rare Beauty's on top, Benefit's on the bottom. You can see the Rare Beauty one is a little bit longer, but it's a little bit thinner too. So it's just kind of interesting to compare. It's a little bolder than I've been doing a lot lately, but I don't hate it. Like, I think it looks really nice. It's just a little bolder than I have been doing. But let's go ahead and do the other side. They definitely apply easily and quickly. Like, the brow pencil is crazy creamy. Like, it's just like, if you press a little bit harder, you get more pigment. And you really get more pigment. When I was swatching it earlier, I was like, whoa, like it can get really, really wild. Yeah, because like I really like the way it looks with just the pencil too. I might try to brush through a little bit of the inner part of this. So I want to do what Selena does a lot, which is just a big old black wing liner and mascara, no eyeshadow, or if there is eyeshadow, it's very little. And she always looks so chic and like almost Parisian to me. I don't know, like in my head what that looks like. That's what I want to do. And they have this liquid liner. It's their Perfect Strokes matte liquid liner. Should definitely just shake it, and she stores hers upside down. But I think she's just so beautiful, and I'm kind of excited to give that a try. These brows, I have a mind of their own today. She mentioned that this is made of like 1,000 little bristle hairs, whatever you call it. Supposedly that there's not one like this on the market right now. I don't know if that's true or not, but I am excited to try it. I haven't even swatched it. And that it was inspired by calligraphy brushes. Definitely is matte. It's black, like it's dark and dark enough, but I could see where I've definitely tried like deeper black ones. So if that's something that's really important to you, like a deep black, maybe not. But again, this is also the first time I'm ever using it. So I'm gonna do it how she did it, kind of, where she said she starts kind of on the outer part and go, oh, that might be too high. Oh boy, Jessie. So it definitely can create a really nice black look. So I kind of take back what I said. I mean, it's a nice deep color. There's kind of a learning curve. I'm used to using a lot of felt tip liners. So I feel, what the heck? I just realized this is leaking everywhere. Oh no. I'm assuming this is not normally leaking everywhere, but it is absolutely everywhere. Let me just finish this. I might try to like later clean up the actual thing and see if I can clean it up. I don't know. I don't know what the heck happened there. Alrighty, let me throw on a little mascara. So I want to quickly try the Danessa Myrick's cream bronzer. It's one of my favorites with the foundation brush because I was kind of curious because it is so soft. I wanted to see how this would apply like a cream product, like a cream bronzer. Oh baby, because that might be how I end up using this more often than not. Because I know, like I said, I don't really love. If you're looking for an amazing formula of cream bronzer, whether you are freaking advanced as could be, like a makeup artist, whether you're a beginner, it doesn't even matter. This stuff blends like a dream. It is such a freaking great formula. By the way, the mascara I use is this number 7, the Full 360 Ultra Mascara. You can get it on Target online. It is one of my favorite mascaras. It's so good. It's like a little over 10 bucks. I'm starting to feel my inner Selena Gomez coming out. And when we put on the lips here in a bit, I think I'm gonna really transcend. So next thing we're gonna mess with are their Soft Pinch liquid blushes. Like I said, I already own one of these. There's Bliss, which is a matte one, which I already own. It's like a light pink. And then Love, a little bit deeper and more kind of browny rose. And then they have some dewy ones, which I'm trying today because I've been dying to try these in Joy and in Lucky. Lucky might be a little much for me. Yeah. I'm sure that I could tap it on and really mute it out, you know what I mean? Those don't seem crazy like dewy upon swatching them like that, so we'll see. The matte ones, it made me nervous, them being matte. I don't know why, but they blend in so easily, and watching her apply them, she literally applies like the tiniest dot, but with this, I don't even think I want to do that. I think I'm literally gonna get a tiny dot on my finger and then just kind of use that to and then move on to a clean finger. Oh, Jessie girl, getting the sponge. Okay. The only thing is, don't you feel like you can just kind of see that line where it ended? And I don't feel like with the lighter colors it was as obvious. Maybe it was there, and just because it's a little closer to my skin tone, it wasn't. Now I feel like I have to do this on the other side. It's still a pretty flush though, even though it looks super bright, you know? I'm just so nervous doing this. All right, that doesn't feel as like much of a line, if you will. I don't feel like it moves the product underneath too much. Whereas some cream blushes, when you have to blend the way I just did, they do. But I feel like this does play pretty well. The highlight supposedly plays really well with other products too. We're gonna test that. I wanna say that I bought one of these in the past, but I don't remember actually trying it. I will say this, I love a really like pinched blushy look, and this definitely gave it to me. That shade, Lucky, I definitely wouldn't have picked out myself, and it made me too nervous to apply, so I don't know how much more I will use this color. I might pass this on to one of my sisters, has a deeper complexion than me, and it would look gorgeous on her. This one, however, Enjoy, I might mess with like next and kind of see, but I love the look that these give. And again, to their credit, they don't move. Once they are blended on, I have never had issues with these like wearing away, even when I'm wearing a mask. They really do stay in place really well. For comparison, the Stay Vulnerable Melting Blush, so far in my experience, I do feel like it moves the makeup around underneath it a bit, and I don't feel like it lasts very well. So for lips, we're gonna try two different kinds. First, I wanna try their Dewy Lip Balms. These, the packaging, so pretty. It's got this like half moon shape, she said, so that if you have it like on your nightstand or wherever, it's not gonna roll off, maybe your vanity table. These are like a really thin but like comforting formula. That color's really pretty. Blessed. She had one that she said she loved that was like a little bit clearer, and I did not receive that one, but that's one I'm thinking about buying because she said she'll wear it even like at night. Just that it's one of those colors that's like so sheer but really comfortable, almost like a balm. So I think I'm gonna go with this shade here, which is the shade Empathy. Oh my gosh, these are, I will say this, when I think about other dewy colored lip products like this looks like it's got a little more color to it, like in a good way. I'm not describing this well, but let me just try it. It's very comfortable. Like, again, it feels similar to the drugstore ones, and if you want a drugstore dupe of these, I can certainly link a couple of my favorites below because like almost every brand makes them. But this almost feels thinner than a lot of the ones I've tried. They add a nice sheen and hydration to the lips, but it's not super wet. Like it's still moisturizing, but I don't know, I can't explain. Like it's not overly glossy, maybe that's it. But I do feel like I have pretty lined lips and it makes them look pretty nice, right? So digging that, but we are gonna put on a much brighter color here in a second, so I might wipe this off. She did mention you can wear these underneath like a more mattifying lip product like I'm about to put on. The color I'm gonna put on is nothing like this, so I'll have to wipe this off. But I just realized we haven't put on our highlighter. So we're gonna try it. It's the Liquid Luminizer. This is in the shade Enchant. I have 3 shades and this is the lightest one here. So we're gonna give that one a whirl. And again, it's got that doe foot applicator. And the way she applied it, I think she literally just kind of did a couple dots and just kind of blended it in. It took no time at all. It definitely pulls pink. This shade definitely pulls to this slight pink, but when you kind of use it as a highlighter and blush topper, it really enhances that blush we already put on. So let's do the other side. Yeah, you really don't need a lot, that's for sure. One thing I thought was interesting is she was using 2 fingers to do it. And I always use 1 finger, but I'm like, you know what? I feel like this is a little more seamless because you're using a bigger surface area to kind of blend that whole area together. I want a little bit more on the apple of my cheek there. And this is another one they said really like plays nicely with others. And since we don't have any eyeshadow on, let's do a little. I definitely am a fan of highlighter there. Might be a little much on my nose there. So I'm really liking that. That was even easier to blend than the blush, But like I said, I want to play with another color blush because I think that has more to do with that shade versus my skin tone than anything. But this blended in so easily, and it doesn't look like chunky glitter. I feel like it looks like all one, and that it melted into the skin a little better than some of the other liquid highlighters. I'm gonna keep playing with this though. I'm torn between a couple of colors. So this is the Rare Beauty Matte Lip Cream. It's like their lip souffle. So supposedly these are like whipped, but they're gonna stay in place. She mentioned that she like fell asleep in one of them and it was like still in place the next day. I'm not always the biggest fan of matte lipsticks, but she mentioned, I'm not always the biggest fan of matte lip products, but she mentioned that these are supposedly really, really comfortable and they feel kind of cushiony. So we're gonna give it a whirl. Her favorite color, I wasn't sent. Again, that's one, it's like a really pretty bright red that I'm like, but I might be buying that. But this shade is one I'm leaning towards, is called Motivate. Yeah, this definitely has more of like a whipped texture to it. Kind of airy. This one is called Ascend, and it's a really pretty pink. I might go with that route because it's like a bright pink. That's probably what I'm gonna do. It's such a thin formula, and I think I like it because it does feel like I've got a lip balm on. It does not feel like I have a lipstick on, like a matte drying, you know what I mean? It really does feel cushiony, and I don't think I'd emphasize the lines in my lips, which a lot of matte lipsticks do. I am digging it so far. Never thought I'd see the day that I would find one of these I actually like. There are a couple I like. L'Oreal makes a decent one. I can link below that's kind of similar. Maybelline Superstay Matte Inks. They're not quite as comfortable, but they don't ever get super dry, which is nice, and they stay in place. So those are similar to this, but really does feel different because those, when you rub your lips together, your lips kind of stick together. Whereas with this, it really does feel like your lips are still gliding across each other like you're wearing a lip balm. But it was so thin, I did feel like it was almost not see-through, but the pigment wasn't as opaque as most matte liquid lip products. So I did feel like I needed to put on a second layer to get the full color, you know? So the last thing I wanted to talk about and try is her little duo. It's like a glow and blot duo. And the idea is that you buy this set and then you never need to buy the compact again. You can just buy blotting sheets or this powder puff to replace it. So when I first saw it, I'm like, oh, okay, blotting sheets, but what's the puff for? As it turns out, there is like a, there we go. You do need to like activate it. But there's a powder in this that's gonna set your face and kind of blur it, but it has like these micro pearls in it so it doesn't look totally flat. So I never use blotting sheets because again, I don't have oily skin, but I also am kind of curious. So I'm gonna get one of these bad boys out. Blot maybe my T-zone, maybe my nose. We definitely got a little oil up. Then we're gonna grab this powder puff. She said you definitely wanna like hit it twice on your hand to kind of make sure the powder's coming out. And then just press it in anywhere that you kind of want a little bit of that blurring effect. I don't know that I'm noticing a huge blurring effect. I do feel like I can kind of see the micro pearls in it though, not in the best way. You know what I mean? Like I feel like it's just kind of catching like little hairs on my face, you know, I don't know. Not totally sold on this. To be honest, I'm just not yet. I love the idea of it though. If you're someone that's oily, you might not mind a little bit of glow and sheen, but you just want to get rid of all that excess oil. So it's kind of nice that you can use that to soak up the oil and add a little bit of blurring, a little bit of powder, but it's not going to totally, you know, leave your face flat looking. So the idea is there. I'm just not totally sold on the execution. All right, so that's everything. Kind of looking through this and giving you my somewhat finalized first impression thoughts. I mean, you know, take this with a grain of salt. This is the first time I'm trying most of these, so opinions may change. I always do a speed reviews video a month or two after I try a bunch of new products just to give you more finalized, more review-like thoughts on these. So definitely subscribe, stay tuned for that. I think right off the bat, gut feeling, my favorite few items I tried today would definitely be the concealer brush is very high up there. That was so easy, so pleasant to use, and it felt really nice on that area. And I'm just very happy with the way that works. So that is very high up there. I'm really digging the way the highlighter looks, but I'm not totally convinced that you have to spend the price tag for this highlighter. I have a feeling I can find something similar at the drugstore. So again, I'm working on a dupes video. Maybe I will find it by then. I'm really surprised at how much I'm digging this lip product. I really am, because Matte lips are something that I've always struggled with and I've really moved away from. But I like a bright lip. It's definitely still transferring, you know, 5 or 10 minutes after applying it. We'll see if it kind of dries down. I can put some wear update notes down in the description box and maybe even in a pinned comment so I can share how some of this wore by the end of the day, etc. The brow product I really liked as well. I mean, I think my brows look really nice and I love the duality of the product. Everything else I liked. I don't think there was anything that was just absolutely awful. I definitely don't think this color is right for me in the blush. And I do think with the blush, you know, it can be easy to apply, but even with the shade I already had, there's definitely a learning curve to it where you do kind of have to work somewhat quickly. You have a little bit of time, but if you're not used to cream blush, it's not the most forgiving formula for that, for like a beginner. And I'm not sold on this little Blot and Glow duo. I really enjoy the feeling of the dewy lip product. Again, I'll keep wearing that and let you know, but I definitely want to try the more sheer version because I think I will really like, I feel like that's a product I would like to have like in my purse, you know? So I hope that you enjoyed this little trial of this brand. If you enjoy this style of video, let me know by giving it a thumbs up. I can definitely do this for some other brands. If there are any out there you've been curious about, like quite a few of their products, let me know in a comment. I might add it to my filming list. I definitely feel like I have the Selena Gomez vibes going on, so that makes me really happy because I think she is absolutely gorgeous and she just seems like such a chill person that I would love to, like, you know, hang out with. Like, you could see yourself hanging out with someone like her, you know what I mean? Anyway, I love you all. Thank you so much for watching to the end, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.